Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And me, your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Satsu is presumably taking the night off, as he had sworn off the internet for today, which didn't happen in dramatic fashion, but we'll get to that later. However, he might show up at some point. We don't know. So for the time being, it is the Scribe and Money Show.
Yay.
Like in days of yore, when Monkey and I were the only ones streaming and Monkey couldn't spell his own name, which is still the case. No, you still can't. That's fine.
I just screwed it up a couple of times.
So how are you, Monkey?
Apparently tired. Not too bad. Pretty decent day. I sat back, played some video games, and had dinner with the missus, and not a whole lot of pain in my life. So I'm pretty good. How are you doing, man? How's your day been?
Well, we've got a post Tucker Tuesday Sinatra raid. Hello, all you Sanutsis. Welcome to the show. I'm doing all right. Work was very quiet. Lots of people have been staying home, either out of overabundance of caution or because they now have children who will be camping out with them for the next month or whatever. Also did a bunch of prep because conceivably in the near future, we'll probably all be ordered to work from home. But since I'm the only one who lives within walking distance of our offices. So if something goes completely bonkers and needs a physical presence in the office, I'm going to be the first responder, short of me being like completely sick. So I get to go through all sorts of interesting, okay, if this happens, you got to come here and push this button. Like, okay, here's where the secret key is hidden. Okay, that kind of stuff. So that was fun today. But elsewise, yeah, it was a relatively quiet and straightforward day. But very quiet because not only are people in our offices having to stay home, but our clients are having to, remote and everything else, which kind of slows everything down. So very different experience going on, but I'm sure that's true for a lot of people and more so for those of you. And I've heard on Twitter and elsewise, several of you talking about how your jobs are either slowed to a crawl or entirely gone now as a result of what's going on. And my sympathies and best wishes, as much as whatever that's worth, go out to everybody in that regard. Hopefully this will pass quicker than later. But aside from all that, which we'll get to at length here shortly, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button if you haven't already, and please share our stuff. Share it far, wide, and sideways. YouTube is now a robot, more so than it was before. That may be good for YouTube. It's not good for us. But what is good for us any day of the week is you guys liking our stuff, sharing our stuff, and that goes for any content creator you appreciate. Now more than ever, you guys are needed to promote and encourage and support the kind of stuff that you like to see, whether it's us or someone else. So please remember to like videos that you like, share videos that you like, and tell people about channels that you appreciate. Okay, with all of that out of the way, anything else to talk about before we get into the schnoz?
I'll probably be doing a game stream after this. It's just me, guys, not the multiplayer one, but my personal one over on Ranting Monkey Games. But just that.
Yes, check out Ranting Monkey Games. Also check out 2 Cents Plus, which is Satsu's gaming channel. Also, Fam 2 Cents, which is Satsu's cooking channel.
And happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah, that kind of is a thing that was supposed to happen today, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
It didn't really in most places. All the bars are closed. So, yeah. Let's get the yucky news out of the way real quick. All right, so the Treasury Secretary warns that the U.S. could see a 20% unemployment rate due to coronavirus, source says, which is really depressing. if accurate. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin warned Republican senators Tuesday that the coronavirus pandemic could drive up U.S. unemployment to 20%, a Republican Senate source told CNN. Mnuchin's comments come as he urged Republican senators to act on economic stimulus measures totaling $1 trillion designed to avert that kind of worst-case scenario. In the same meeting, Mnuchin also said he is concerned the economic ramifications of the coronavirus pandemic could be worse than the 2008 financial crisis, the source said. Mnuchin's comments, which were first reported by Bloomberg News, come amid a rising sense of urgency at the White House and on Capitol Hill to confront the increasingly serious threat of the coronavirus pandemic on both the public health and economic fronts. So there was that. I'm trying to find the other thing that was minorly good news. I don't see this is on CNN's live blogging site where they just post stuff without indexing it in any way. So I'll just, coronavirus has now been reported in all 50 states. West Virginia had been at 0 reported cases until today. So yay, we've got everybody covered now. The other thing that was mentioned, and I can't find an article directly to it in front of me right now, but I know the gist. The $1,000 immediate check sent out to all American adults is apparently being seriously considered for immediate implementation. Now, what immediate means and whether or not it'll actually happen, I don't know. But it has been mentioned directly by the Treasury Secretary in a press conference along with Trump. So it's probably going to happen. Now, does $1,000 in a one-time deal really do much of anything in the long run? For most people, probably not. I mean, don't get me wrong, nobody's going to turn it away, obviously. But $1,000 isn't going to tide people over who have either lost their jobs or have to look at the next 3 months working from home or taking care of their kids or something. So, yeah, there's that. It's news. I don't know how good it is, but what do you think, Monkey?
Well, I mean, the economy's coming to collapse. We're bringing it that way on purpose. We're shutting everything down, and I get why everybody's scared. And in doing so, yeah, they're going to crash the economy. And $1,000 that ain't going to fix shit.
Yeah,
you're talking about an unemployment rate that right now is at what, 3 and change, 4 and change. What is our unemployment rate? Say last month before all this shit came down.
It was something like 3.5, somewhere
ridiculously
around there. Ridiculously low, yes.
And you're talking about bumping that up to 20% because you're shutting everything down, and that grinds everything to a halt. And it takes a little bit to get that back going.
Yeah.
$1,000 ain't going to fix jack shit.
Yeah. I mean, it might make people feel better for a second, but that's about it. Thank you. This is Kyle. Hello, chat people, Monkey and Scribbles. Thank you. This is Kyle. And thank you, Tall Person. Bars may be closed, but I don't need to drink to feel good. I can listen to Lawton, and I have my secret supply of Coke. Shh, don't tell. Now, of course, you mean the refreshing soft drink and not the illegal narcotic. Of course you do. I'm sure you do. I will say that you do for your own benefit. Let's see. So, yeah, the PGA Championship has been postponed. 4 more NBA stars, including Kevin Durant, have been confirmed to have the coronavirus. What else? Drive-through or more like, so drive-through testing areas are apparently being deployed around the United States in the next couple of days. I read somewhere that their first, or like one of the first places to show up is in Washington State, where all the big problems are.
Where all the sick people are?
Yeah, but also in Washington State, the very first trial run of a coronavirus vaccine was performed today on, I think it was like 40 different currently healthy individuals ranging in ages from like 25 to 55 or something. And they're going to monitor them over the next, several months and see how it works and et cetera. There was a radio report. One of the first ladies, or maybe it was the first lady that got injected. She said she volunteered, and I'm paraphrasing, but she used this language. She said, "Well, you see, I'm very privileged, and so if I can help out, I'll do what I can." I'm like,
Oh,
okay, well,
all
I'm
right.
glad you're helping out. Whatever your motivation, if you want to be a guinea pig to help out everybody else, fine. But your privilege has nothing to do with it. It's like, I'm going to make this sacrifice. Like, okay, whatever. Yeah. So there's all that.
Okay, with the vaccine, that's it's kind of scary. I mean, are they going to expose them to the virus other than
Well,
through the
yeah,
vaccine?
I don't
Because how
know.
the hell else do you know it works?
That's the thing. I don't know if they put them out into the wild and just see what happens. I mean, I think they have to bank on on the likelihood that everybody or the majority of the population in one way or another is probably already or going to be exposed to, especially I suppose in Washington State where everything is already like the worst. So, but I'm not a scientist. I don't know how those things work. So yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
in chat, Cynic says check for antibodies. Sure, you can do that, but if the reinfect rate of this thing is anything like some people are suggesting, that doesn't really help.
Yeah,
Uh, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know. In other news, there are some primaries going on today, guys.
What the hell you say?
The devil, I say. And the ones that are currently active, there are only 3 because there were others, but they were postponed. Ohio specifically, Florida, Illinois, and Arizona. Now, currently, we only have a firm result in one of those 3, and that's Florida, where Joe Biden. Yes.
I don't know if you saw. Illinois has already been called.
Oh well, CNN doesn't have that here, but I was going to go. I was going to go through all the
Sure.
But anyway, so far, Biden with 91% in Florida has a 61.5% over Sanders' 22.8%. And since delegates in Democratic primaries are doled out proportionally to your percentage of winning, Biden's getting a whole ton of delegates out of Florida. Illinois, Monkey says, has been called for Biden, who currently has, with 15% reporting, 55.5% for himself, and Sanders at 39.3% as of right now. Arizona apparently hasn't closed yet, so there's no percentages in on that one. Thank you, Karaman Majir. 4 weeks at 40 hours per week equals 160 hours per month. $1,000 divided by 160 hours equals $6.25 per hour. UBI will destroy our economy while insulting us. It's not going to be a UBI. It's a one-time $1,000 check, which is, I mean, a long term probably worse, but yeah, it's unless something very drastic has changed in the proposal at present, it's going to be a one-time deal.
Yeah, real quick in chat, Illinois called with only 15% reporting. Biden must have crushed him statewide, says Sir Quack. Actually, it was called with 11% reporting.
Yeah. And the trajectory doesn't look like it's going to change much unless something very dramatic happens elsewise. But yeah, so Biden is on track right now to win Florida and Illinois in overwhelming numbers. Arizona is technically still up in the air, but if, past his prologue, Biden's probably going to eke out a win there too. Bernie has said that he's not going to drop out of the race regardless of what the results are of tonight's votes. At least that's what he said most recently. Whether or not that holds true after today, I guess we'll find out. Unless he's still shooting for a brokered convention or something. I don't know if he has. I mean, Biden's not going to get. I don't think mathematically he can get the number of delegates necessary to avoid a brokered convention. So if that's what he's pushing for, then he might get it. Thank you, James Colley. Ranting Monkey, you have Streamlabs.
Oh, again, I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for telling me, because I do not keep that up. So let me get over there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. You find your Streamlabs?
It's loading slowly for some damn reason.
Oh, because your internet's.
Well, you don't have to be hurtful about it, Scribbles.
I wasn't being hurtful. I was just stating a fact.
Thank you so much, James Colley, who says, asks, where is Puppet Satsu at? As he told us last night, he's taking the night off.
Yeah, he was purportedly going to be taking the whole day off from the internet.
Mhm.
That didn't quite happen. Like I say, we'll get to some of that sooner or later. He may still show up tonight at some point. I don't know, but for the most part, we're going to expect that he's off for the night. Speaking of somebody else who's not going to show up at their usual place of employment anymore, or at least, well, not that Satsu's not going to be here anymore, but okay, awkward segue. Tom Brady has said he will not be re-signing with the Patriots and instead is signing a contract with the Buccaneers worth $30 million per year. Now, I'm not a sports guy, but I know a little bit about Tom Brady and that he has never been on any other team but the Patriots. So, Monkey, maybe you have more insight into this. Do you have any idea why he would suddenly just sort of like abandon ship and go with the Buccaneers?
Yeah, the New England Patriots, they want to go with a younger guy, and Tom is, for whether you like him or not, probably wasn't going to be playing again next year. If he was, he'd be splitting time with a younger guy. They want somebody who's going to be the quarterback of the future. So he became a free agent and exercised the option. And yeah, we had a several quarterbacks, including Phillip Rivers leaving. Thank fuck. Drew Brees re-signed with the Saints for a 2-year, $50 million contract. Phillip Rivers is going to play with Blood Wings team out there in Indianapolis at the Colts. Had some interesting moves today.
So
I'm just glad Rivers is gone.
Does that mean that the Buccaneers are the next Super Bowl winners because Tom Brady's going to be there?
No, Tom Brady's not that good of a quarterback.
Oh, okay.
He's not a horrible quarterback. He's an average quarterback who's been on a very good team that likes to cheat.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys don't have to like it, but go watch the whole South Park episode. They've been known to cheat a couple of times. At least 3 of his rings are tainted. But he's good enough, and we'll see which is better, the offense out there in New England or Brady.
Thank you, Cryptic. And the Chargers still going to suck.
They are. There's a good chance the Colts could win the Super Bowl with Rivers out there because he's not a Charger anymore, so now he can win one.
Well, except that all football games are going to be canceled.
Probably.
Yeah, or they'll play in empty parks. Or
ranting monkey sour grapes. It's not sour grapes, man. They were caught cheating 3 times, and you can say, the inflate gate, that wasn't a real big deal. Okay, what about the 2 times before where I misinterpreted the rules when you were deliberately breaking them out there in New England?
Monkey's not salty.
I'm not. I hate cheaters, man. I fucking hate cheaters, and they got no punishment for that shit. Nothing. And they were allowed to float on that bullshit.
All right. Well, there was some very surprising rumors going around today in the wonderful world of Disney. Is Apple about to make the happiest acquisition on Earth?
Oh.
Yeah, this just came out. I mean, I don't follow big business or trends or like that or anything. So for me, this came out of absolutely nowhere. The latest rumors about Apple buying Walt Disney Company aren't new. They go back to Disney's 2006 acquisition of Pixar. That made late Pixar co-founder Steve Jobs into Disney's largest shareholder and a member of its board. Of course, Jobs was also a co-founder of a little computer startup you might have heard called Apple, and at the time was in his second tour of duty as its CEO. After Disney bought Pixar, the logic held that it was only a matter of time before Apple returned the favor and bought Disney. Those rumors have circulated on and off for nearly 15 years, and they got a new injection of life last fall. That's when former Disney CEO Bob Iger noted in his autobiography that had Jobs not died in 2011, a Disney-Apple combination might have happened after all. Quote, I believe that if Steve were still alive, we would have combined our companies, or at least discussed the possibility very seriously, Iger wrote. Fast forward a few months, and it seems the Apple-Disney acquisition rumor is again riding high amid the wave of uncertainty crashing through the markets, thanks to the coronavirus. This time, it's been ushered in by Rosenblatt securities analyst Bernie McTernan, who wrote in a note that now might be a golden opportunity for Apple to snap up Disney at a bargain price and generate a win-win for both firms. Yes, when the economy takes a dive, now is the time to acquire.
Indeed.
After all, Disney and many other firms in the travel and entertainment vertical are taking a beating at the outbreak's hands. Disney's Asian parks were closed for much of the first 3 months of 2020, and as of yesterday, they were joined by the company's U.S. parks. That has helped to push Disney's stock price down approximately 35% so far this year. McTernan wrote in his note that this presents a prime opportunity for Apple to beef up its Apple TV Plus streaming service by acquiring Disney and its rival Disney Plus streaming offering. Dear God. Thank you, Cryptic. Disney might buy DC Comics too. Yeah, I've heard that one too. I've heard that the entire mainstream comics industry will just fall under the House of Mouse or the crapple of Apple soon. I don't know. Mega corporations, I just want some Android strippers and a lot of neon all over the place. And can we just have Blade Runner now? Have some Neuromancer going on. Can we get there now?
On that note, over on my Streamlabs again, thank you, James Colley, who said, was one of the tainted rings his butthole ring?
That's gross.
I agree. Thank you for the donation.
You know what that'll mean though if Disney buys DC and or Apple buys both. Technically, that means that Wonder Woman becomes a Disney princess.
That's true.
I know. Isn't that terrible? Well, then, anyway. Let's see. Was there anything else exciting going on besides all that stuff? We talked about that. I don't have it in front of me, but I read something today that was talking about the differential in death toll for coronavirus in Italy versus South Korea, and why it's so relatively low in South Korea. Like, I think they've had all of 5 or 6 people, and Italy's got like, what was it, like a few hundred or something, or 1,000. And the guy said, well, it has to do with population demographics mostly, because in South Korea, people who are 66 and older or whatever, that's like 13% of the population. Whereas in Italy, it's over 0.25% of the population. No, a quarter of the population, so not 0.25%, a quarter of the population, 26 point something percent. So you have a larger swath of people who are more vulnerable to this. And you also have a country that is famous for its church gatherings, where you have a lot of people congregating every Sunday in large numbers, getting very close to each other. And a lot of those people are elderly. And so people were saying, oh, the death toll in Italy is this horrible. It's like, yeah, but when you put it to the actual statistics of the demographics, it's still in line with the rest of the world, technically, even though it looks bad. And of course, people are dying, which isn't happy at all. Did you see that Vanessa Hudgens video today?
No.
So I'm searching to remember exactly why she's significant. She's either an actress or a singer or something.
Actress, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she did a little bit of singing too, but actress mostly.
Yeah, she put out a little, I think it was like a TikTok or like one of those Instagram deals. And this, I think she posted it yesterday or the day before. And it's her looking like she just woke up because her hair's all mussed up and everything. And she's looking at the camera and she says, like, I understand like the coronavirus is bad and everything. And that, some people are going to die. And like, I know that's bad, but, some people got to die. It's like, what? And I'm paraphrasing, but it's not that far off from the reality of it. And it's just like, in the pragmatic sense, you're not wrong, but the way that you're expressing it, it sounds awfully callous. Smug and callous. Yeah. And then she put out one today as a follow-up where suddenly she's got makeup on and her hair is all done up and she's dressed and everything. And she speaks very articulately and says, I think some people may have misunderstood what I was trying to say there. And I said some things that, were just kind of off the cuff. And yeah, okay. All right. There you go.
People judged me correctly, and I feel like you guys were wrong to do so.
Is there a Weibo? Weibo.
How about you don't be a twat, lady?
Hey, Weibo. Are you you want to come on and fill in for Satsu for a little bit? I don't know what your situation is now that you've I think you've had to move out or whatever, so maybe you're not set up, but let me
She's
know.
back at home. She's actually done a couple of streams from there, Scribbles.
Oh, has she? I'm sorry. I have been busy at work. Sorry, Weibo. I'm terrible. I know that.
I pay attention to you, sweetie.
I'm working all day. I don't see stuff that other people are streaming and stuff. It's my birthday again today, guys. Oh no. Well, you're an old woman now. How many birthdays has she had this year?
She said like 2 in the last week.
Oh my God. Boy, that's does she have a time machine?
She gonna hit menopause real quick.
Hot flashes.
No, it's just looking at me.
Oh.
I give the ladies hot flashes. Usually it's flashes of anger, but it's still a hot flash.
Well, at least for me, the ladies give me flashes.
Yeah, I tell them not to. I'm married, and
I'm not.
That.
I'm single.
You're lonely. That's a different thing.
What? I almost had a moment there, Monkey.
You did. You know what? You deserve that moment. He can get the women's.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Well, we were a couple minutes early. I don't think anything else really that engrossing is taking place right now. We talked about Biden. We talked about Corona. We talked about the economy to some extent. Oh, there was, speaking of the economy, they have extended tax day by 3 months. So 90 more days. So instead of April 15th, it'll be April, June, July. So August, I think. Somewhere in August now, you'll be able to file your taxes, which is fine because I got to meet with my tax guy on Friday and get that all settled for the year. Not that it really matters. I've got plenty of time now. Oh, and apparently, and I just saw this, Facebook itself is giving $1,000 to all of its 45,000 employees. Blah, blah. So that means that Facebook could be giving everybody $10 billion. Right?
Yes.
That's the math? Okay. Let's see. Facebook is giving each of its employees a $1,000 bonus to help support them during the coronavirus outbreak. Did I have any concerns that Facebook employees were suffering financially at this stage of the game?
I hadn't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I was because oh yeah, Facebook's median annual salary in 2018 was, can you guess, Monkey, what the median salary at Facebook is?
$75K.
$228,651. Nice
work if you can get it. Damn.
Yeah. So a $1,000 bonus is like, for these guys, relatively
nothing.
Chump change. Yeah, it's like, here you go, guys. Here's a little bonus. You can pay off that 1 square foot in your giant condo apartment in downtown San Francisco. Okay, thanks. Anyway, hopefully they'll donate to somebody who needs it. Let me see here. I'll take, just on the off chance, I'm gonna send Weibo the link just in case, because you never know. Weibo. I don't know why I say it like that. Weibo. I think so. She's kind of a cartoon character, sort of, like a human cartoon. That's fine. So let's move on to the wonderful world of NSS News. Guys, if you have news stories you would like us to attempt to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSSNews. Can't promise to get to them all, but that's because I'm long-winded and very picky and, just this side of not perfect. It's a Weibo. Perfect night. Perfect night for a Weibo with the Muppet theme, as Weibo is kind of Muppety.
Hi, Weeb.
Hello, everybody. I finally just actually got my system all completely set up again. I had to find an adapter thingy, and then my Wi-Fi thingy too, because I don't have a hard line here. So I apologize if I break in and out of this shenanigans. I have to improve the hard line, or the non-hard line, the wireless line of Wi-Fi. There we go.
Oh, okay. And how are you? Tell us of the travails of the Weibo of late.
Oh boy. So it's been nuts. Absolutely insane with regards to the moving in to home again, but moving out of school in less than 36 hours. They moved up the deadline actually, because it was supposed to be everyone's out by Friday, but no, they moved it up to yesterday at 5 p.m. Luckily, I'd already gotten out by Saturday afternoon, but it was still nuts apparently. Just, there was a lot of depressed seniors. Lot of depressed seniors. I cried hard. It was bad.
I'm sorry, Weibo. Hopefully everything will go by quicker than they're predicting. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but even if it does, we don't get that back.
Yeah, I know.
So I mean, I don't wish it to be that bad, but it better be fucking bad if I'm paying this much of a price for that. Let me just say.
Thank you, Lion Patriot. Beep, howdy to the Weibo and you too. Well, beep. Howdy, Lion Patriot. Beep.
Howdy.
Yeah, I talked to a friend of mine today, and they were like, "Yeah, well, my weekend plans are ruined." And I was like, "Oh, what are those?" My best friend was getting married, and they closed the venue, and everybody that was like flying out here can't now, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, ouch. And she's like, yeah, I'm like, fuck. So yeah, I'm sure that story is being multiplied all over the place too, but
it probably is. That's why you get wedding insurance, kids, so you don't lose your deposits.
But onwards to the wonderful world of MSS News.
Oh boy, goody.
Let's see what people have sent us today. And guys, I apologize if you have, but unless it's something really out of the ordinary, I'm going to skip coronavirus stories for the time being. We're all sort of, marinating in that enough as it is, literally or figuratively. So I'm going to move on to other things for distractions. So if you have other stories, by all means, post them. But elsewise, yeah. Alyssa has a question for you, Weibo. What did they make you leave the dorm entirely? Did the semester get canceled?
So they shifted everything to e-learning completely, got everyone off campus and back home, except for those minor exceptions like international students, people with, exceptional circumstances, people who can't finish the semester at home remotely. Luckily I can, so it's not that big a deal, but we're still hear back about reimbursement for the rest of the semester too.
I think public pressure will probably make them at least do that.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, this one comes from Massive Dynamics. And what do you know? It is our favorite friend, Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Not our favorite friend CNN. That's a different thing, but our favorite man. Florida Man pleads not guilty after 78-pound meth seizure in Montana. 78 pounds. A Florida man has pleaded innocent of a federal drug trafficking charge after his arrest in what authorities say was the largest meth seizure ever from a traffic stop in Montana. Nicholas James Imhoff pleaded not guilty during a Monday appearance before U.S. Magistrate Judge Timothy J. Cavan in Billings. He was arrested February 11th after a trooper allegedly found 78 pounds of methamphetamine in his rental minivan following a traffic stop near Columbus. He is charged with possession of methamphetamine with an intent to distribute. Cavan ordered Imhoff detained pending further proceedings. The defendant's attorney, Lance Lundvall, said Tuesday that he had no public comment. I wonder what he's pulled over for. Like, what was the stupid reason he got pulled over?
No seatbelt, outlight.
Let's see. Imhoff was driving a minivan he had rented in Las Vegas 5 days earlier. Imhoff said he was traveling to North Dakota, but the trooper said Imhoff could not provide an address in North Dakota, that his story seemed inconsistent, and he was acting nervously. Right. See, if he just had a cooler head about him, he could have gotten away with 78 pounds of meth.
How many, so 70 pounds, that's like the size of what, a small child? A large child? A medium-sized child?
Maybe you.
Medium child.
Medium child? Ages what, like?
Why are you trying to figure out how much meth you can stuff into a small child?
No, I'm trying to like visualize it, and for whatever reason, it's coming out in like children.
Okay. Everyone, Weibo tells weight by child size. I don't know why that is. We can speculate at question time at the end of the show.
Sweetheart,
Yeah.
remember density is going to be a little different.
Yeah, that's true
Fuck.
too.
You're right.
Yes, I often am.
Let's see. This one comes from Frosted Glass. It's not a Medium article. It is a Guardian article. Anchor babies. The ludicrous immigration myth that treats people as pawns. Is it ludicrous, though?
It can be.
Daira Garcia wakes up at 5:50 a.m. She takes out her dog, then tries to eat some breakfast before boarding the bus that gets her to school by 7:26 in the morning. After class, she heads back home where her parents, Sylvia and Jorge, watch Noticiero and sip mate. I don't know what that is. She sometimes tries the drink as well, but admits she's never quite gotten used to it. They eat something, talk. When Daira goes off to finish her homework, she forgoes the desk in her room to curl up on her parents' bed. It's more comfy, she quips. Daira, 17, has a fairly standard routine for an American teenager. School, homework, family time. But unlike most kids, the schedule she's come to rely on each day could easily be disrupted at any point. Can you guess why?
Coronavirus?
No. Sylvia and Jorge traveled from Argentina to the United States as 2001 became 2002. Okay. And with the new year came their new life in an unknown country. Yes. Did they come here illegally by any chance? Daira's big brother was just an infant then, now a college student. He doesn't even really remember the place where he was born. And yet he's only shielded from deportation because of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, an Obama-era program the Trump administration has been trying to end for years. Yeah, end and actually have Congress pass it legitimately, like you tried to do, which they never did. Sylvia and Jorge, meanwhile, have no protection and could be picked up by agents from Immigration and Customs Enforcement at any time.
Wow.
Daira begins to cry just thinking about it. Quote, "We've never had a plan for if it happened," Sylvia says in Spanish. "Maybe we didn't give it much thought. Maybe we don't give much thought to that because we think it's healthier," unquote. We'll get to that in a second. Thank you, Officer Buck Russell. Gotta love all this humanizing going on before they get to the point. Well, yes, we have to like ease ourselves into the fact that, yes, these are human beings, but they're also not supposed to be here. Thank you, Connor Johnson. I just watched this incredible film from last year called Uncut Gems. It stars Adam Sandler in what might be his best performance ever. I loved it. I have heard that movie is good. I've also heard that movie is bad, so I'm not quite sure. Is it on Netflix yet? I assume it is.
I don't know.
Well,
No clue.
I may see it sometime. Okay, this goes on for a very long time. But if anchor babies are a myth, let's see here. It's true that children born on U.S. soil have been granted citizenship through the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Cue monkey.
No, it was granted by the Supreme Court.
Okay. Thank you, Willett Forge. Just deport them already. And that a landmark Supreme Court decision set the precedent for that right to be extended to almost all children of foreigners. But Americans can't just immediately safeguard their family members from deportation. In fact, a U.S. citizen must be 21 years old before they can sponsor their parents for a green card. They also must be able to financially support their parents. Now, the Trump administration's new public charge rule targeting low-income immigrants is adding yet another burden. Another burden to people who weren't supposed to be here in the first place. Okay, I've done more than a few videos on this, and this is the parents' fault. They have placed, and I've used this phrase God knows how many times, when they crossed that border illegally and brought over their children or decided to have children here after the fact, they created a Damocles sword hanging over their families' heads in perpetuity because it could happen at any time that their family could be broken up legally because they're not supposed to be here. So I feel sorry for the children because they had no choice. I don't feel sorry for the parents. And I don't know why they keep trying to make victims out of people who did something knowingly illegal and put themselves and their families at risk. Anyway, thank you, Angry Illinoisan. You shouldn't be here. In the words of Markiplier, go away. Nobody likes you. Well, yeah. Like I said before, I have coworkers who have gone through all the hoops to become legal U.S. citizens, and watched from the sidelines as they went through all the ridiculous rigmarole our government puts people through to get here legally and do it the right way. And they did it. And so when I hear about people cheating, like Monkey said, I don't like cheaters. Thank you, Dragon Mage. France banned people being outside without a form. All right. And Jordan 250, thank you. Myth or not, babies make very poor anchors. Well, Weibo, you know something about the weight of children. Tell us. Do babies make poor anchors?
Yes, because they are buoyant.
You should have said
first.
You should have said it depends on density. That would have carried the gag from earlier forward.
No, they're buoyant. They're pretty buoyant. Yeah. They're chubby little boys and girls. Tiny little.
Yes. Let's see. Fairly Becca tells us of a passing in the entertainment world. Lyle Wagner, who used his good looks to comic effect on the Carol Burnett Show and was Playgirl magazine's first centerfold, has died at 84. Oof. Thank you, Cryptic. Deport them and let their kids go with them. I'm still not good with the kids part because they didn't have a choice of it. And unless or until the Supreme Court changes otherwise, they are protected by the law if they're born here. And then DACA is also in effect, which is, well, I don't have any real contest against. But the parents themselves who broke the law knowingly, yeah, they got to go. But like Lyle Wagner, I know the name. I can kind of see the face.
Lyle Wagner.
Yeah, Waggoner. Wagner.
I spelled that wrong.
Yes, you did.
You don't even know that.
Well, you said Wagner, and I was like Waggoner.
Oh.
And so I know you missed a couple syllables there, so I assumed you spelled it wrong. See, that's I used context clues.
How do you spell Lyle?
L-Y-L-E.
Got him.
All right. Moving on. This one comes from Tall Person. I think I saw this earlier, and I was partially thinking it was a joke, but apparently it's not a joke.
Wait, Scribbles.
Yes.
This is Lyle Waggoner.
Yes, there he is. Handsome, even in his old age. Yes, Lyle Wagner. He was in that army uniform. Was he? What is that from? Oh yeah, that's right. He was Wonder Woman's boyfriend. That's right.
Trevor.
The first Steve Trevor. That's right. Okay, that's why I was like, I know him from something other than the Carol, because I only saw the Carol Burnett Show once or twice when I was a kid with my parents. So
nerd. Sorry.
Yeah. A nerd because of a show that was on when I was a child and my parents watched it.
Yes.
Carol Burnett Show makes you a nerd?
I seriously.
Know what that is.
You have no idea.
It would be funny.
You don't know what the Carol Burnett Show is? Woman, get yourself to YouTube.
I wasn't alive back then.
Look. Okay, Weibo here, and I'm not kidding. Anybody else listening too? Look up when you have a chance. Carol Burnett Show, Elephant Story, or Tim Conway, Elephant Story, and just watch that clip, and you'll get a gist. Or Tim Conway and the Dentist. Some of those things are just still ridiculously funny television. Anyway, moving on. Marvel Comics introduces new non-binary superhero character named... Can you guess the name of this superhero character?
Pat?
No. Weibo, do you have a guess?
Is it Snowflake?
You are correct.
I think I sent you a story like this.
Marvel Comics released a brand new trailer introducing their new Warriors. The new Warriors, by the way, were a sort of sub kind of Avengers-ish team of superheroes who were teenagers back in the olden days. Kind of a young Avengers. The original lineup was like, what was it? Night Thrasher, Namorita, I think it was, and Speedball, which is funny on a drug level if you think about it, and Silhouette, and Kid Nova, I think, and a couple other people. Anyway, thank you. Another monotream. Deport parents. Let parents choose if take kids. Well, I mean, it's up to if the kids are of age. Yeah, and then of course, yeah, I don't have a problem with the kids staying here so long as they can take care of themselves to a certain degree. Because legally, if they're born here and or DACA, they have the ability to stay. So that part I don't bother with. If they choose to go back home with their parents at that point, that's entirely up to them. Lamented Guide. I've had it with this. I am so done with illegals, activists, politicians, and the media manipulating my sympathy to try to legalize crime. Deport. Well, I am not happy to tell you this. Get used to it. It has been, and so it shall be. It's not going anywhere, especially not under a Democratic Party represented by two guys who both said that they wouldn't deport anybody for the first 100 days that they were in office for reasons. So anyway, New Warriors writer Daniel Kibblesmith, introduced the new team and details the premise of the upcoming series. Quote, my editors on the previous books that I'd done, like Loki and Black Panther versus Deadpool, asked if I'd be interested in doing a New Warriors tie-in that actually poses them as the authority figures in this conflict instead of the rebels. And I really liked the attention of that. Quote, so because the New Warriors are the authority figures in this story, they have to be mentoring new warriors who are under 21 and subject to the laws that triggered the outlawed event. I'm assuming that's some kind of in-universe thing. This new law is making it illegal to be a vigilante under the age of 21. So no more Spider-Man. Spider-Man became Spider-Man Logan, what, 15, 16?
16.
Speaking with Marvel.com, Kibblesmith added, quote, I wanted to have teen characters who felt as now as the New Warriors did in 1990. The New Warriors have been zeitgeist characters from the beginning. You get edgy skateboarding Night Thrasher in the 90s and the reality TV team in the 2000s. And now in 2020, we have new warriors who have never grown up without the internet and one character who appears to essentially live inside it. Okay. He continued. The artist on New Warriors is, yeah. Okay. What about so the individual team members, I'm going to put this link in the chat so you guys can see the pictures or the spec art of these characters. The first one's called Trailblazer, and she is a decidedly overweight girl. With some sort of Kirby Crackle type artwork on her belt and harness. And if you know what the Kirby Crackle is, that kind of thing. Quote, so the first character that we are introduced to is Trailblazer. She's a group home and foster kid who is volunteering at a senior center when this mysterious threat shows up and Night Thrasher runs to the rescue. And because she helps him, she ends up in the crosshairs of this new outlawed law, and she inherited from her grandfather a magic backpack of divine origin.
Okay.
I'm guessing by divine they mean something like the Celestials or the New Gods, maybe, or something. No, the New Gods was DC. Anyway, I see the Kirby-esque design on her backpack, so I'm assuming it's celestial-based or cosmic Galactus type. Kibblesmith then details why they chose the name Trailblazer. We picked the name Trailblazer because she's somebody who charges into action. She knows that she can do some good with this mysterious gift she's been given. Do you think she has the stamina to charge into action very often?
Probably not.
Yeah. Moving on. Screen time. Screen time is an internet kid taken to its sort of logical conclusion. As a youth, he was exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas.
What?
And that has patched him permanently into the World Wide Web.
Interesting.
Internet gas. Now, I understand. Okay, like the Hulk would not be the Hulk without gamma rays, and gamma rays would just kill you in reality and not actually make you into a giant monster. A radioactive spider would probably make you sick and die. I get it. But
sure? Have you tried it?
Internet gas?
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
almost
try it.
Yeah. Okay.
What in the fuck is internet gas?
I would at least like the in-universe explanation of internet gas. I'm just saying.
I got one.
Okay.
It's the the air that comes out of your PC when it's trying to keep everything pretty cool.
Right. Okay, moving on. He adds the word screen time is only sort of used in a restrictive sense, and because we are doing a story about teenage rebels, a lot of the names are about teens fighting against labels that are put on them. So with screen time, we like the idea that he has infinite screen time. That made
What does that have to do with labels?
It made absolutely no sense. No sense. Okay, now here are the big ones, guys. Here are the ones that you have a duo. Looks like brother and sister, I'm assuming, or not whatever.
Non-binary.
We have Snowflake and Safe Space.
Oh dear God.
Snowflake
Serious?
Snowflake has neon blue hair. Safe Space has neon pink hair. He then introduces Snowflake and Safe Space, who are twins. Snowflake and Safe Space are the twins, and their names are very similar to screen time because they all start with S's. It's this idea that these are terms that get thrown around in the internet and they don't see as derogatory. To take these words and kind of wear them as badges of honor. What happened to labels? And when was screen time? Is screen time some slang word that I'm missing as being used on the intertubes?
Not in any kind of way that I can explain.
Safe Space is a kind of big, burly, sort of stereotypical jock. Stereotypes, you say? He can create force fields, but he can only trigger them if he is protecting somebody else. Okay, so he can't use his powers on himself. Okay, I mean that's kind of a standard power limitation in comic books. Okay. As for Snowflake, does she have like ice powers? As for Snowflake, Kibblesmith explains, Snowflake is non-binary. Well, that's a girl. And goes by they, them. It's a female. Snowflake has the power to generate individual crystallized snowflake-shaped shurikens.
What?
Okay.
Shuriken.
Throwing star.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The connotations of the word snowflake in our culture right now are something fragile. And this is a character who is turning it into something sharp. Snowflake is the person who has the more offensive power, and Safe Space is the person who has the more defensive power. The idea is that they would mirror each other and complement each other. Thank you, Officer Buck. So they're trying to retake Snowflake, and they tried to retake, like they tried to retake the N-word. I don't know what he's talking about here. These are not characters, they are caricatures. They're like, they took the name and said, how can I make a character that fits the name? Their backgrounds are probably insignificant, except for the non-binary part, except by those hips, that's a girl. Sorry.
No, that's in a non-binary. How dare you?
I know.
How dare you?
That is a chick.
Lastly, B negative. B negative is the goth kid. You can't say O negative because then you get copyright restrictions from the band. When he was a baby, he got a rogue life-saving blood transfusion, we assume from Michael Morbius. And now he has a very similar look and very similar vampire. Okay, hold on. Michael Morbius. Thank you, Lamented Guide. Lords of the Night would like to reminder you Tumblr is not reality. Well, in Marvel Comics apparently has come to life. Michael Morbius in the comic books is a brilliant hematologist. Of all, and now admittedly, he is at times a villain, but he's also at times a anti-hero, not unlike the Punisher. Regardless, his big thing is he struggles between his humane side and his vampire side. And his humane, scientific, rational side would never donate his own blood for transfusion to another person. Unless you're going to say...
stolen.
Well, okay, maybe, I guess, I don't know, but unless he's in one of those modes where a writer says, "Hey, Michael Morbius is going to try to make a whole race of vampires by transfusing his blood," which he wouldn't do because he's still the scientist trying to fight his infection half the time as much as giving in to his bloodlust. So, yeah, if somebody stole his blood, fine, but. Kibblesmith adds, B negative also is obviously a pun. Really? It's a blood type, which is great for a vampire character, and it's also proud ownership of having a bad attitude. I want to shoot myself with a fork right now.
You want to shoot yourself with a fork?
I want Corona.
It would work very poorly, which means it'd be very painful because that's how bad this is.
Did you? Did all 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did there's only 5 there. Trailblazer, Screen Time, Snowflake, Safe Space, and B negative.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if you had gotten a Trailblazer because I'm like...
That was the first one I did.
That was the first one? Okay. Are we looking at the same article?
I don't know. I put it in the chat. It's Bounding into Comics.
No, I meant Marvel.com.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm looking at Bounding into Comics. So yeah, there are your new warriors. And they're stupid. they're just stupid.
Nah.
Thank you, Shady Grand. This is the corniest shit I have ever seen, and I understand this is comic books, and if this was like some kind of throwback, sort of 4-color 60s vibe kind of thing that was all sort of like goofy concepts, we're talking about taking this into the mainstream Marvel continuity and calling it edgy and all that. And this is the zeitgeist. Really? The zeitgeist is this? Maybe at Marvel Comics, but...
This is asinine.
Yeah. But with that declaration, guys, sorry that there wasn't much MSS news tonight, but hey, when I get talking comic books, I can go off for a long time because I spent a lot of my years collecting those things. So... thank you for the stories. We're going to move on to YouTube time. I'll go first. I didn't do anything because I've been working. So, Monkey, what have you been up to?
I did a Monkey in the morning regarding things we'll talk about in a little bit. And also going over some older drama. And the drama we haven't talked about on the show yet of Keemstar being sued.
Oh, yeah.
Again, we'll bring that. Somebody remind me to bring that up at Fucketry time.
Okay.
And then I did a game stream, and I'll be doing another one of those after this show.
Ooh.
And you'll be doing 7 Days to Die, I assume?
Yes.
All right. Weebo, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been trying, but I have a few projects on the backlog that I want to get done. Like there's this article from 7 News that I just saw, Coronavirus Australia, why women will feel the impact more than men, and so on and so forth. And I think I could turn that into a really nice hashtag everything is sexist, because it's not the only article I've seen of that nature, and I really want to rip them to shreds, like honestly. Other than that, I have a few Facebook scam stuff that I want to get out that I've been sitting on for months because I just haven't had the time. But now I have all of the fucking free time in the world that I could possibly ever want. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm trying to find things to do with myself.
Oh, well, that was, no. The door opened there for a second, but I decided not to step through.
Just close it, please. Please, gentlemen. So other than that, most of what I've been occupying myself with is just prepping, essentially. Dad had me go to the store yesterday and get a whole bunch of stuff from the store. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, it is barren at my local Walmart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's worse at Costco.
Yep, similar things are here. The usual suspect shelves are practically cleared out every day that I go there. And I'm thankful that I had the foresight of gathering up most of that stuff about 2 weeks back, because I was joking with my sister, was like, if this goes the way I think, we better stock up on toilet paper and paper towels right now. And she's like, yeah. So we did that, and when everything was still full, and I'm sitting pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I did that too, but with food and for college, thinking I was just gonna hole up for 2 weeks in my dorm, and then
Right.
I had to bring it all home and pack it up. So that was a whole ass thing. But then Dad asked me to get more just in case, so I did. Pro tip though: buy all the fruit. Buy all the fruit. I cannot emphasize this enough. Buy all the fruit and then dehydrate it, because that's how you get it to last longer.
If you have a way to dehydrate it.
Yes. If you got a dehydrator.
You could also probably do it in the oven, I would think, right? You can dehydrate them in the oven.
I don't know, but I'm sure there's
Google
a YouTube video for that. Do you have anything else, Weebo?
No.
Okay. Next 6 minutes. Thank you so much. Condiment King sounds awesome by comparison, Scribe. Is that a real character? Because I was thinking of the Hypno Hustler. If you don't know about the Hypno Hustler, well, you're just not as much of a nerd as I am.
The Hypno Hustler.
The Hypno Hustler. That is an actual Marvel villain. I believe it was a villain. Yeah, the Hypno. Oh, Hypno Hustler. Okay, well, then on to the wonderful world of fucketry. I think we'll have Monkey go last because he's got the most substantive stories to tell tonight. I read there. So for myself, let's see. Joe Biden, our presumptive Democratic nominee, put out this today. This moment demands that we choose hope over fear, unity over division, truth over lies, science over fiction. And I said, truth over lies. Tell us again how you were arrested in South Africa. Tell us again how you were responsible for the Paris Climate Accord. I just felt a little nitpicky there because I'm a jerk. Let's see what else. Samsung has quietly canceled its game streaming service. And I said, something I didn't even know existed and never wanted or needed is no longer available. Nobody gives a shit. Because it's true. What else? Okay, we talked about the $1,000 a month thing. I think. They took the tweet down. That's interesting. Thank you, Officer Buck. Arm Fall Off Boy is my favorite obscure superhero. I think Leapfrog might be the more obscure superhero. Well, I mean, he was a supervillain technically, but then his son took up the costume and became a superhero for about 2 issues back in, I think it was Spectacular Spider-Man back in the 90s. I've got him in my closet boxes somewhere. I think that is all that I've got. Weebo, do you have any fucketry?
Yeah, I do.
I'm annoyed that you did.
Huh?
You sounded annoyed that you did. You're like, yeah, I got some. These fuckers.
It was over shit that happened a year ago. I made a comment. It was okay. I made a comment comparing the Nessa situation. You remember when Nessa was an issue because some artist colored her too light.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Painty twisty people. I made the comparison of the Nessa situation to that of like Anna Diop as Starfire not being, properly colored in as an orange Tamarinian. And someone found that tweet again and made a big stink about it, and then their followers saw it and made a big stink about it. So I was in a debate with someone all afternoon today, and they were debating with me about whether or not it was viable for a TV show production to do the same thing that they did with Gamora in terms of body paint. In terms of body paint, because of time and budgetary restrictions. And I'm like, it's not going to be that hard. If, The Walking Dead can do it, then obviously Titans can do it, especially since we don't know what Titans' budget is. Allegedly, they spent at least $2.5 million on the Robin suit. So, I mean, and they're only using that for 1 season. Obviously, they got some cash to burn. So it makes no sense for them not to do that in this one instance. And then this other person was like, okay, so then why don't you get your arms up in a twist about it not being done to Gar, who is supposed to be green according to the comics? And it was just the whole thing. And then this person finally defaults to, you fucking racist. And then stops talking to me. So I was sassy as fuck today because I'd be like that sometimes. But I would have liked it to be any other shit that I tried to start in the last like month or so, because that's way more interesting than the Nessa drama from a year ago. Honestly. What is Nessa? She's a Pokemon gym trainer.
Yeah, this is how important this subject is, guys. A Pokemon gym trainer. This is how vital this entire conflict is.
My entire issue was over the hypocrisy surrounding people who get their panties in a twist over skin color representation not being accurate. And I'm just like, okay, so why is it okay in this instance, but not in this instance? I don't get it. But apparently that makes me a racist to point that out. It's fine. I'm not salty, but I am.
Good job, racist.
Wouldn't it make more sense if I were racist for me not to want to solve the problem of Anna Diab not being comic book accurate to her character, rather than just say, fuck it, recast this bitch. I don't want her. She's too dark for this role. Because that's not what I was saying. I just said body paint the bitch.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still salty about it.
I can tell. You're a big salt lick.
Yeah. All right, Monkey, you had drama.
The women's are.
Hey.
Oh.
All right, now we have drama.
Why we got drama?
Right. So
that's just anatomically correct.
Anatomically.
I guess we'll move on to the Monkster. Do you want to do Keemstar first and then do the big deal, or
yeah? Let's get the Keemstar thing out of the way.
Okay. Tell us about Keemstar.
Keemstar is being sued for $3.5 million.
Oh my God! By who?
A man named Romeo Lacoste.
Who's Romeo Lacoste?
Romeo Lacoste is a tattoo artist, and he's a pretty big deal in the YouTube community. He was the tattooer of YouTubers, including many big named ones like Jake Paul and I forget who else, but Ariana Grande has one of his tats on her, and Justin Bieber has one of his tats.
Do you think Ariana Grande should get together with Brittany Vente and find somebody who's got a last name of Duo?
What? Duo?
You know, Vente, Grande.
Tall.
Yeah, tall. They call it. There's a place around it that calls this the small thing a duo or something, and I guess I got mixed up. Anyway, tall.
There are 5 cup sizes actually at Starbucks. There's short, tall, Grande, Venti, and Trenta.
Oh, I'm not white girl enough to know that shit.
Trenta, that was See, Weibo knows this stuff.
Up until last week, unfortunately.
Stop it, Pumpkin Spice. Now look, this guy, he about a year ago, rumors came to light that he might have been being inappropriate with underage girls.
Oh no.
A charge when he talked to Keemstar live on Keemstar's show. I don't remember if the actual conversation was live, but he had a live conversation with Keemstar that was played on Keemstar's show. He did not deny. In fact, what he said was something to the effect of, I'm young and I didn't expect all this to come my way, and maybe I didn't react the best, kind of thing.
What?
I'm paraphrasing, guys. Go watch the video itself. It's still up on YouTube. Well, last month, Keemstar talked to this young lady on his show again, who claimed she was 15 years old at the time of what I'm about to tell you. This is all allegedly, you guys. And allegedly knowing that she was underage, knowing that she was 15, and there is a text between the two that he knew she was at least not 18. Showed her a picture of his dick, which is weird because he didn't show her his dick. He showed her a picture of his dick.
Wait. Like, he texted her a picture of his dick?
FaceTimed her another phone that he has for some reason where he has a picture of his dick on it, and showed her that while they were FaceTiming.
Okay, that still counts.
It does.
No matter how many degrees of separation you're trying to put there, it still counts.
Humble Clay says, is there evidence of this? Yeah, go watch. On February 10th of this year, Keemstar put up this video. I watched it today. I was like, holy shit. And this guy is suing Keemstar for ruining his career.
Wah, wah.
Right.
Good luck with that, Romeo.
You ruined your career, allegedly.
Sorry.
You're going to end up in prison if this shit is true.
I was going to say, all you've done is actually raise Keemstar's profile and destroy your own.
Yeah. Somebody get Chris Hansen on this shit, because if this shit's been out this long and the FBI is not investigating, I'm really curious why. Now, allegedly, Romeo ran below the border, hiding down in the Mexicos these days. I don't know if he's still down there, but allegedly, this case is just fucking weird. And yeah, the guys decided to sue Keemstar for $3.5 million in U.S. federal court for allegedly exposing him. Like, that ain't how that works, homie.
Apparently, Rakita Law's coverage of the case is hilarious.
I didn't see any Rakita Nick's coverage of this. The one thing somebody said that Nick said this guy actually showed his dick to this girl. There was nothing in that interview with Keemstar that suggested that it was a picture. So that doesn't make it any better. It actually kind of makes it a little bit creepier that he has a side phone with his dick pics on it. What, your new camera doesn't have enough, or your new phone doesn't have enough storage? What?
Maybe his dick is just that big that he needs two phones to store it on.
Anyhow. Yeah, this is not going to be good for you, son. You should just lay low down there with the cartels.
Yeah, wait, no, because like, doesn't suing Keemstar make this go full Streisand?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now everybody knows.
Yeah.
This guy's a creep.
Like I say, it raises Keemstar's profile and just makes this guy's creepiness that much more visible. It's the stupidest thing you could have done.
Well, yeah, he pretty much went away after this all happened last year and disappeared. He did. He's lost all of his business and it's gone into hiding, reportedly. But yeah, he's just bringing this shit back up. And all you're doing is reminding all those people who you gave tats to that they have pedo tats on them.
Yeah.
This is why you tattoo yourself, kids.
That would not be wise.
Why not?
Spend your money on Starbucks. It's better.
No, I don't need to, because I used to work there, so I got it for free. And now
you know what I think about Starbucks. So
now I can't
make your coffee at home, people. This is what gave us coronavirus. It was.
I don't have an espresso machine at home.
You don't mean
you are an espresso machine.
What does that mean? What? No, I don't understand. Genuinely, explain it to me.
Did we just do that? Did we just do that, Monkey?
What?
Did we just say you are an espresso machine at the exact same time?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh,
I
what
said
did you say?
You don't need an espresso machine.
Oh, because we overlapped each other. I could have sworn we just said the exact same thing. That's why I was laughing.
Now I get why you were laughing. I was like, I missed something there.
I said you are an espresso machine. I thought that because anyway, you cut out as I was talking. Never mind. I think it's still funny. Still funny.
No, it's not, because I still don't get it.
Shut up. Shut up.
You are an espresso, my dear.
Yeah, so that's bitter, and you need like to just get it over with.
You're compact, and you really should be taller and a little less bitter. God. Yes.
All right, can we move on to the drama that we're supposed to be talking about, and not starting like some kind of flirting session between you two?
That's not flirting. That's me just pointing out how beautiful the young lady is.
Oh, thank you.
She's a little spitfire.
Thank you, Mike.
The other drama today. Oh dear God. Where to even begin? So Satsu is supposed to stay off the internet today, and some of you guys were supposed to yell at him if you saw him, and I know you saw him. How dare you?
Wait, why was he supposed to stay off the internet?
Because he said he was. He was taking a day off. He was going to just stay out of all the bullshit. He was just going to stay out of all the bullshit.
Gotcha.
Because of bullshit like this. Satsu, you did it yourself. He started arguing with Sofane. Because Sofane, did you guys see Chinese virus last night trending?
No, but I saw a couple tweets of people talking about it.
Yes, I did.
Yesterday, Donald Trump called the coronavirus the Chinese virus. He didn't say the coronavirus is the Chinese virus. Just while talking about it, he flat out calls it the Chinese virus.
Mhm.
And Twitter lit up. Oh my God, he's so racist. And Terrence Williams, being who he is, is Terrence actually gay, or does he just pretend he is? He's a gay conservative, very strong supporting MAGA comedian, or fancies himself one. You guys can pick between yourself. And he made a video where he's like, calling it the Chinese virus is not racist. It's not racist to call it the Chinese virus. It'd be racist to call it the Ching Chong virus. So I will not be calling it the Ching Chong virus. And he just says it repeatedly a few times. He actually tweeted it a few times as well. And So Fane had a problem with this video because he goes, how can you say it's not racist when you turn around and then call it, the Ching Chong virus? To which Satsu said, look, saying it's the Chinese virus is not racist. Calling it the Ching Chong virus absolutely is racist. Those are two different things. Fane shot back with, don't you see how we can make the connection when somebody says both of those things? And he's like, no, because the person might be racist, but the terms aren't. And Satsu says this, and I'm paraphrasing the line. I'm sorry, I don't have it exactly in front of me. He says, unless you are so involved in your ideology or whatever it is, something like that. But him saying the word you, he was being general.
Right.
And Fane took that as a personal insult. You specifically.
He's using the royal you.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, then it goes into a whole nother thread where Fane says, for all those people who are saying it's the Chinese virus, we'll remind them that it's the Trump recession later, or something. I can't remember. He said Trump crash, the Trump recession, one of those two. And to that, Satsu replied with that video of all of those news people and liberals calling it, corona, or calling it Wuhan virus or the China virus.
Right.
And he goes, look at all these racist people. And so there was another little falling out there, which apparently leads Sofane to block him. And he also blocks Sinatra either during this or after. I didn't see exactly what Sinatra did to cause him to get blocked by Sofane. And then Sofane puts out this tweet. He says, it sucks when you have to block old friends. But sometimes that's just the way the way the Twitter works. And he's had to block Satsu and Sinatra. And there's a little exchange with him and Matt, to which at one point Matt says, this one I do want to find, because I don't want to take anybody out of context here. I want to make sure it's right. And wait,
this is mundane Matt for those listening at home.
Yeah. Sorry.
Just for clarification.
My mistake. I've been talking about this a bit today. This was on my live stream earlier. It's what finally, I wasn't sure if I was going to do a live stream today. But here he goes. He says this to Sofane. Dude, you are now seeing them for who they really are. Satsu just believes the nonsense Monkey comes up with, and Sinatra is an out-and-out racist. Like, when the fuck did I get brought into this? I was sleeping. I wasn't even involved. But apparently Matt still has a boner for me for reasons I don't know. I never fucked with Matt.
Are you sure, Monkey? What did you do? Your memory is not the best, so it's entirely possible.
I've challenged him a couple of times on Twitter, which I believe is why he didn't block me, but he did stop following me.
How dare you?
So yeah, that was what happened to them. That's what blew up, and it's all Satsu's fault because he didn't stay off the internet.
Yeah, and so the thumbnail I came up with today was Monkey with Satsu as a puppet, because apparently Satsu's just saying what Monkey tells him to do, I guess.
If you appear on a show long enough with me and you argue with anyone, you will eventually be my girlfriend or my puppet. That's what happens. I don't know why. You guys all have your own opinions. You argue with me all the time. Nobody just falls in. It's like, Monkey said it, we have to do it. My life would be a lot fucking easier if you would. But apparently other people tune in and that's what they see. So,
What happened? Like,
with what?
Just in one day everyone was friends with each other, like Matt, Fane, Monkey, Sinatra, everyone, Satsu, everyone was friends. And then, I don't know, all of a sudden we get to today and people are blocking people are calling people out, people being shady, people are buttholes about it.
Well, a couple of things happened. You had the skeptosphere blow up, but then you had the election coming.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these people are hardcore liberals. For instance, Fane is a Bernie supporter.
Yes.
And that leads him to say some Bernie supporting things and not like some of the sarcastic shit that Satsu says back to him.
Real quick, thank you, Officer Buck. Can't I be your girlfriend puppet? Wink, wink. He's talking to you, Monkey. Will you take the role of the girlfriend? Oh.
Two things. One, my wife doesn't let me have girlfriends, and I'm not putting my hand up anyone's ass. I appreciate the offer, though. It's very good of you. But yeah, so that was that. If you guys want to hear more in depth on that, my thoughts on there's no more depth to it than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I turned that into a 2-hour stream earlier because I got skills, yo.
Yeah, you do.
I do have a little bit more fucketry that I'd want to talk about before we move on.
The floor is open. Go ahead.
Because I was watching TYT's coverage of the primary.
Oh, right.
And I saw something absolutely fucking ridiculous. There's an argument to be made that perhaps they should have put off the primaries. There's an argument to be made that due to public health that you say, you know what, we'll just do these a little bit later.
Right.
That's not the argument they made on TYT. Their argument, and I'm not making this up. You guys can go back and watch their shit and find it. They were arguing that they specifically did this to hurt Bernie.
Okay.
They held the primary the same fucking day that they've been planning to for at least the last 10 months, year, something like that.
Something like that.
Held it on the exact day it's been planned for 3 states to hurt Barney. Hurt Barney.
Barney.
Well, fair enough.
Oh, Barney, they hurt me. Oh, no.
Yeah. It's a conspiracy. And the other conspiracy was that the military is going to have to remove Donald Trump from office.
Real quick, Officer Buck says, in response to your denial of his love, you'll come around. They always do.
I'm a stubborn motherfucker.
Dun, dun.
And I reached out to Susan Wojcicki and asked her why TYT is allowed to do this. I don't want TYT shut down, but I would like to know why nobody else is allowed to peddle conspiracy theories. Because remember, that was a big thing there when they kicked Alex Jones off. They actually told us you're not allowed to peddle conspiracy theories.
Right.
But TYT not only can do it, they get fat ass checks from YouTube.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm not talking their monthly payment, guys. No, they got it's reportedly a 6-figure number, a 6-figure grant from Google.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's how they're still afloat, even though they get shit views.
Exactly.
Well, there's that. Their Al Jazeera money. They're corporate funded.
Yes.
Yeah, as much as Cenk likes to rail against the wealthy and all the corporate and stuff, and he's for the unions and everything, he takes all his money from rich people and doesn't want his own people to unionize.
Yeah. So I don't think Susan's going to answer me. I hope she does. I don't want TYT shut down for their little conspiracy things. I think that kind of stuff should be just fine. It's not helpful. It doesn't advance the conversation at all, but I don't give a fuck. I just want to know why nobody else is allowed to do it.
Because there's no people actually at the wheel anymore, Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's not at the moment, but there was when that fucking plan was put into place.
Were there, Monkey? Do we know for sure?
Yeah, she was there. She wrote the fucking blog post. But that's all I got.
Okay, well, we have a few minutes. Shall we do a Mad Lib, everyone?
Sure.
Wow, listen to that enthusiasm.
Yay! Let's do it!
Yeah, I mean, of all people here, I thought Weeba would be a cheerleader.
Actually, I was never a cheerleader.
Yeah, but you're a girl, so
That has absolutely nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
Let's see. How many spaces do I? That's too few. I need a few more than that. Oh no, I think I might have done that one already. No, it's not highlighted. Let me check real quick.
I do want to do the Mad Lib, but I did think of another fucketry. I saw this the other day.
All right.
The head of our I don't know if it's specifically our international soccer team or if it's the head of our entire Olympic team. I think it's a soccer team, men's and women's combined. The guy who's over all of that, he had to step down the other day because he I think it was in the answer to the lawsuit about why the women's aren't getting paid as much. He basically said in there, and I am paraphrasing, you can look up the exact phrasing, that men are stronger and faster than women. And Megan Ripaho, whatever her name is, she got very upset by this. And she went onto Twitter to tell little girls, that's not true. You are just as strong and fast as men. Like, all right. And somebody proposed this, and I think this should be done. And I apologize, whoever it was I saw, that I cannot give you credit because I don't have it pulled up. I just remember this. They proposed having the women play our men's team, and the winner gets the most money.
Okay.
You think Megan Ripaho is going to go for that?
If she means what she says.
She ain't. She don't mean what she says. Every woman on the planet will be like, no.
Okay. All right. So chat. This is what I need from you. And please put your suggestions into individual chat messages. If you can tag it with what it is so I can find it easier, I'd appreciate it. I need a verb, an adverb, and the name of a person in the room. So conceivably either someone in chat or someone on the show, as this is our technical room. So a verb, an adverb, and name of person in the room. And we start where we end. Weibo, I need the name of a person in the room.
Weibo.
Weibo. Monkey, I need a noun.
This is going already.
Schlong.
Oh boy. Weibo, I need a superlative ending in EST.
The friggity is a superlative.
I don't know, college student. You tell us.
I'm not an English major.
It doesn't matter. You should have had your basics down. What's a superlative?
I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah, well, I figured you would. So go ahead and tell us what a superlative is.
Of the highest quality of degree.
So you could say the biggest, the grossest, the something-ist. What's an est word?
Lengthiest.
All right. Monkey, I need another noun.
Cunt hair.
Weibo, I need a body part.
Don't be dirty.
Pinky toe.
Pinky toe. Monkey, I need a verb ending in ing.
Relaxing.
Relaxing. Weibo, I need a noun.
Candlestick.
Candlestick. Monkey, I need a verb.
Shoot.
Okay. Weibo, I need an event. However you want to interpret that.
Graduation.
Aww. Monkey,
sorry.
I need a day of the week.
Hump day.
Okay. Weibo, I need a verb.
Jogging.
All right. Monkey, I need a verb.
Float.
Floating or just float?
You said verb, so just float.
We all float here.
I'll float down here, Georgie. All right, Weebo, I need a place.
The Porta-John.
My God. And lastly, Monkey, I need a time span.
An eon.
Ooh, there you go. All right, so chat, a verb. Angela Ariaga says flog. Sounds good to me. Adverb. Shrouded Angel says accidentally. Okay. And lastly, name of person in the room. Name of person in the room. Did anybody actually give me a name? No. Person in the room. Attack Alpaca says the ghost in Scribe's apartment. Okay, sure, why not? All right, here we go, guys.
Ready.
This is called Love Letter Number 3.
Okay.
Dear Weebo, it has come to my schlong that you are the lengthiest girl in the cunt hair. My pinky toe starts relaxing a candlestick every time you speak.
What?
I would like to shoot if you want to go to the graduation with me next hump day. If you jogging, please float me at the Porta-John in Eon. I flog you and everything about you. Accidentally, the ghost in Scribe's apartment.
Accidentally.
That was something else. I will clip that out and post that presently. So there you go, guys. It's your Mad Lib for the evening. It was a brief one. I thought there was really longer than that, but it was what it was. But with that, we are at your time, chat. So if you've got questions, comments, concerns, conspiracy theories, complaints, ideas about how Weebo might best entertain herself while she's got this accidental vacation.
I have a few ideas.
I'm sure you do. Put them in the chat now. If you have questions for us, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have statements for us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, your friendly neighborhood chat partner will tell you. Gulf City Cult of Krill, is Ghastly visiting Scribe? No. Not that kind of ghost. I don't even know. If I have a ghost in here, they're doing a good job of hiding, but then it's a ghost. Attack Alpaca, who does Weebo want to be the president for the next 4 years?
Of the candidates that we have?
Or maybe, or just ideally? I don't know.
Ideally?
I don't know.
Hey, Monkey. One that you snorted. It's so funny you snorted.
Yeah, because I wouldn't wish the presidency upon my worst enemy. You know how much shit the president has to put themselves through, stress, the amount of
great
absolute shenanigans that you have to face every day when you wake up as a president. I would never do that to someone I like, but at the same time, I have to be selfish about this decision, and so I don't really have a good answer for this, but I'll just opt for Trump.
All that preamble, and she doesn't have an answer.
I just said Trump.
Yeah. Frosted Glass. How has Mystique not already been declared the official trans comic book character? Seems obvious. Because she's female by default, and everybody knows it, and she's way too hot to be trans, so they have to make somebody who's explicitly trans without any confusion, I guess.
Did you mean to just say trans people are ugly?
What?
The way that came out, it sounded like you were saying trans people were ugly. You said she's way too hot to be trans.
She's way too hot, a female, and defined as a female over the course of the comic books to be trans. It's never come up that she's anything other than a female. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Extrapolate that all you want, but that's not what I meant.
I was giving you a chance to clarify.
Well, that was the best clarification I can get, is that Mystique has always been a woman. She's the mother of Nightcrawler. She is a total and absolute female. So
I've seen a dude give birth.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen him, but I've read about it.
Yeah.
That's not how it works nowadays. Or, well, that's how it works nowadays, but that's not how it worked in the inception of Mystique, therefore.
Let's see. Check Your Logic says, do you miss Two Girls in One Stream, Weibo?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Motto Winter, oh lords, would you try a Kool-Aid milkshake?
Hell yeah.
Sure. Depends on the flavor. I mean, I'm partial to some over than others. Weibo? Would you try a Kool-Aid milkshake?
I don't think so.
Okay. Daniel Fullman, Lords of the Night, was Weibo renting herself as a leprechaun to make extra money?
Was I or will I?
Well, I guess it has to be was at this point, because I don't think you're going to make it in the hours left in the day.
No, I was not, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Kiefer Dam, did you cover Vanessa Hudgens saying it's like inevitable if people die from the virus? More or less. I didn't have the exact quote, but I talked about it earlier.
Isn't she though like right? It's inevitable if people die from a virus. It's inevitable if people die from a virus anyway.
It was the way that she expressed it and was like, I'm like, I guess that's bad or whatever. It was just very flippant, a very sort of callous about the whole thing is the way she delivered it. It didn't sound pragmatic so much as just like shrug your shoulders and like, yeah, I guess people are going to die. Kind of thing.
Well, wasn't it also like her being inconvenienced and like, hey, people are going to die anyway?
That's how it came across to me. I mean, go find the video, you be your own judge. That's how it came across to me. And her apology was very, her agent told her she better put something out kind of thing, because she was all dressed up compared to being in there with her bedhead in the first one. Lion Patriot, Weibo, is Daphne getting more exercise now that you're home?
For the most part, yeah. Although I've been too busy to pack to actually get her on a walk, we've been throwing the ball in the backyard quite a bit. To be fair, she is a bit too fat. She is 100 pounds and she's supposed to be 70 pounds, and that's going to be a problem. So I think my goal is going to get Daphne down to a reasonable weight, because no one else is going to do it now that I'm home and I have nothing else to do. Yeah.
Let's see. Next 6 minutes is, I mean, overall asking us, do we have a favorite 80s album?
No, I don't.
An 80s album. When did that come out? I got to check and see. Is that might be just on the edge of being an 80s album. Let me check real quick.
Maybe. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, actually, because New Jersey came out in the 80s, so yeah, it'll be that one.
Yeah, that one came out in 1990, so it doesn't count as an 80s album. It was recorded in 1989, but it wasn't released until August of 90.
Which one?
Facelift by Alice in Chains. That would be my favorite 80s album. But other than that, I'm trying to think. Did I have? I mean, my sister, we had a bunch of cassettes back when I didn't really start collecting music until I was like 13 or something. And that was like the very first CD I ever bought was Porno for Pyros, Perry Farrell's side project after Jane's Addiction. And I don't know. The only thing I can think of is I should remember my sister had Hammer Don't Hurt Him, the MC Hammer album. But other than that, no. There was a compilation tape because my dad used to work for Ford way back when, and he got a company car one time, and it came with like a demo tape full of random songs and things just to sort of test out the sound system. And on this tape was just the weirdest collection of songs. There was the Approaching the Death Star from like the Star Wars movie was part of it, and then you had Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. And then you had Turning Japanese by the Vapors. It was just this really crazy random series of songs. I eventually found the song list somewhere, and I collected all of them again because my sister and I had this really nostalgic memory of this particular tape and all the songs that they play as we were riding around in the car. Anyway, completely bizarre thing. Weebo, do you have a favorite 80s album?
I'm too young for this.
Okay. Let's see. No one nowhere. Has everyone checked out the latest stream by Non-Author Dark? Well, yes, Non-Author Dark. Yeah, I did a little impromptu stream the other night on my secondary channel. I think the most interesting part of it, for those of you that care, is I read out what I've written so far of my story. Yes, Weebo?
No, I was just clearing my throat. Sorry.
Oh, okay. And yeah, and that starts at 16 minutes and 30 seconds. I found it out specifically and put a timestamp in there for people. So
Nice.
And I'm still working on it, picking away at it. Tack Alpaca, is there anyone in your personal life who you've made so mad that they refuse to speak to, I assume, you till this day, excluding Twitter blocks?
Me now.
That I've made mad.
People love me.
Well, the only person that I've legitimately done wrong and who's never spoken to me again was way back in college. And it's a long story, but it was a roommate of mine, and I messed around with his crush. And I did it I did it knowing it was his crush, but since they weren't in a relationship, it didn't seem like as much of a bear. It was the worst. I'll just say, this is not bragging. It was the worst thing I ever did. It was the worst thing I ever did to somebody that I knew and cared about. I do not take any pride in it. It's one of my greatest lifetime regrets that I knowingly did that. And at the time, I guess I didn't care. Alcohol was involved, but I do not blame the alcohol. I knew what I was doing, and I knew better, but I did it anyway. And as a consequence, he was legitimately mad at me and never spoke to me again after that, really. So no blame there. And that was the lowest point of my sort of growing up, I guess. And the only silver lining to it is that after that experience, I was like, I am never, ever going to do that again. And I never have. I've never, ever betrayed anybody like that, or at all, really, since then, because I knew what it was like to be the bad guy, and it's not fun. So there's a little story from me. What about you guys? Anybody who you made so mad they'll never talk to you again?
Nope.
Great.
I've never done that to anybody that hasn't talked to me since, but I've done that to others because I'm really petty about that stuff.
Massive Dynamic Scribe, do you think the economy will be affected long term, or will it come back? Yes and yes. I couldn't give you a timeline on either one, but yes, it will be affected for a long period, but it will come back because, again, this economic downturn is not a result of an economic factor. It's a result of an outside, effectively a natural disaster. And the natural disaster circumstances will pass. Don't know how long yet it'll take for that to happen, but it will. And afterwards, the vacuum that's been created as a result of it will fill in again. How that will happen, how efficiently that will happen, and how long it'll take to get us back to where we were before, probably a long time. That's my guess, and not being an economist. Frosted Glass, do you think Biden's running mate will be Madonna to make him look young by comparison? Ha! Everybody looks young by comparison. I mean, Bernie looks young by comparison, and Bernie's older than Biden. Humble Clay says James Woods for president. He'd never take the job. He would never take the job. That's my guess. Next 6 minutes. Scribe, do you have a favorite techno song? A techno song. God, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot of techno songs that are catchy that get stuck in my head, but I don't know if I'd say I like them or they're my favorite. Gosh, I don't know. Sure. Fire by Ferry Corsten. Look that one up. Ferry Corsten, Fire. It's got Simon LeBon singing the lyrics on there, even though you couldn't tell that because it's a very repetitive lyric. But Cody Fry, thank you. Satsu sounds an awful lot like a white girl today. Yeah, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Do
does.
do your best Satsu.
On the spot, right now? Like,
no, next Wednesday. Yeah, right now.
I don't have a Satsu. I don't have a Satsu.
You go. What up, doe?
Yeah, what up, though?
What up, doe?
Wow, that was bad.
Yeah, too high pitched. You got to put a little gravel into there. Come on.
What up, doe?
Oh, great. All right.
What up, doe?
Yeah. Okay. Oh no.
Doe.
God.
You're making it worse.
Yeah. Let's see. Jack Gunsky, Scribe Light. Which breakdown will be worse, when Bernie isn't chosen as the nominee or when Trump gets reelected? Trump being reelected, because that will, if Trump is reelected, the entirety of the left will be ridiculously upset. Whereas if Bernie isn't chosen, a faction of the left will only be upset.
I don't know. Like, because after Bernie doesn't get elected, I mean, I know that they saw it. They're gonna have fuck.
Can you speak?
English is not my first language. That's gibberish. Thank you very much. So please be patient. No. Oh fuck! Now I lost what I was gonna say.
Great. That was. Thanks for all the suspense.
That was interesting.
That was something else. Like I did that.
But that's all, folks.
Okay. Let's see. Jim Gila says Utahans are #1 panic grocery shoppers. They spent 261% more last week at the grocery stores than the same week a year ago. Well, aren't they? Isn't there a lot of like preppers and like, you know, religious types that predict the end of the world kind of thing over in Utah?
There are Mormons. Are you talking about the Mormons?
I suppose I'm talking about the Mormons, sure. But I mean, like in that part of the world in general, isn't that where a lot of the? Because I remember a long time ago, I saw some show where they said the place in the U.S. that was least likely to be the most affected by either a natural disaster or, you know, an outbreak of something was like right in sort of the center-ish area, mountainous regions of that part of the country. So I assume that there's a lot of people out there who are doomsday prepper types or end of the world forecasters and things like that.
I honest to God don't know.
They're
Okay.
everywhere.
They are everywhere. Frostiglass, who would be a worse Biden running mate, Elizabeth Warren or Jack Gunsky of post Lords of the Night Tuesday Quiplash stream fame? Jack Gunsky. Because Biden's always says he's going to pick a woman. And I'm assuming that Jack isn't short for Jacqueline. So I could be wrong. You know, prove me wrong if I'm wrong. But Frank Hubbard says, Scribelight, you have a great reading voice. Well, with as much practice as I get night to night, I sure hope so.
Why prep if the world is going to end? Humble Clay says. 'Cause it might not.
Well, the world ending just means that a bunch of people die, but you don't. That's all that means.
That's fair.
Jack Gunsey, describe like follow-up. Will Bernie run third party or will he quit? No, he's not going to run third. If he drops out of the Democratic Party right now, he's shooting himself in the foot for any kind of leverage because if he drops out of the Democratic Party, he has no reason to go to the convention. And the only reason he'd stay in at this point is to try to broker the convention or to try to somehow gain some political leverage in the Democratic Party to have either some of his policies put onto Biden's platform or make some deals to have certain people into a Biden administration or something like that. So if he wants to have any pull in the rest of this process, he's got to stay in his own party. That's my non-Chris Cillizza prediction.
I think he's going to bow out like a little bitch again.
I still think he's going to wait till the convention and essentially try to sell his delegates for some kind of concessions in a prospective Biden administration. That seems the most likely to me.
I just don't see Biden needing him, just because he should get to the convention with the 1991. I think he won't be a dick about any of it though, because he wants to, like you said, influence the platform.
Right. And Biden wants to bring on the Bernie supporters. So it's sort of like this, we have to be friendly to each other because Bernie wants something and Biden wants something, and they both know that they are forced to deal with one another, at least on the public level, peaceably. And that's, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, but then again, Bernie could drop out tomorrow and just say hell with it. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Satanic Cultist, almighty lords, any advice on giving up sugar like chocolate? Don't eat chocolate.
You're welcome.
It's very simple. It's not necessarily the easiest choice, depending on your habits or impulse control, but it's really just a matter of, if you're walking through the store and you go to where you would grab the thing that you shouldn't be eating, stop, look at the thing, turn around, and walk away from it. It really is that easy if you just make a conscious effort to do so. I've done it several times with things that I was like, nope, I really shouldn't. And I'll do a little psychological test. I'll walk right by. I'll make an effort to literally, I'm going to walk down this aisle and walk past the thing and not get it. And then I do that, and then I get along with my day, check out and leave, that kind of thing. It's also part of what my mother drilled into myself and my sister when we were kids, because we got a small allowance for doing our chores, so we always had a couple of bucks on ourselves. And we go to the store or something, we'd always pass like the toy aisle or whatever, and be like, Mommy, you want to get that? And my mom would always say, well, I'll tell you what, how about we wait a week, and if you still want it, we'll get it then. And that's how I learned impulse control over impulse buying, because as a kid, I forgot the thing ever existed within a day. And so, never spent the money. But if I ever did, it was something that I really wanted. So that was the lesson my sister and I learned. And we both still talk about it today of like, yeah, Mom really got to us, didn't she? Let's see. People are still amazed that Satsu turned into a white chick. Let's see. No one nowhere. What will you do with your $1,000 stimulus check? That is a good question. What will you do?
Put it towards savings for a house.
Okay. Monkey, what will you do?
Regular bills.
Yeah, it's probably going to go into the bank and end up in the, even though money is fungible, technically it'll probably go towards rent and utilities in the month afterwards, whenever I get it. That's about it. That's about as exciting as it's going to be. Invest, says Humble Clay. Yeah, except some things. If you have the ability, if somebody hands you $1,000 and you can buy, a few shares of stock in something that just dropped to the floor because of this, and hang on to it until the economy comes back up, it's not a bad idea. Frosty Glass. So do you just do laps around the cookie aisle in grocery stores, Scribe? No, I actually don't eat that many cookies. If I have one guilty pleasure staple good, it's probably goldfish, as I've mentioned several times. And I don't always get goldfish. Sometimes I walk by the goldfish too.
Not Cheez-Its?
No, Cheez-Its are way too salty. They dry me out way too much. Blah. Goldfish. Classic old goldfish. Faithless, Scribe Light, any chance of your company shutting down or laying you off? No. Our business is not directly affected by what's going on in that way. Some of our clients might be, but we're a very small company to begin with, and everybody is essentially essential to their role in the company, and our business is not going to be too greatly affected by it. Shutting down, we may end up all be told to work from home, but that's more just a health precautionary thing than anything having to do with the state of the business. So now, who knows? Depending on how long this goes, or stranger things have happened. If something else happens, I'll let you know, but so far as I can tell, that's not something that's I'm gonna have to worry about. Thankfully, it's just one of those things. Memes of Destruction says my kindergarten teacher stole my Cheez-Its.
What?
What a bitch.
I didn't know you were still in kindergarten. Do you get nap time and juice? Check your logic. Weibo, when do you think an SDA will stream again?
I don't know. We haven't talked about streaming again. So that's who knows?
Zeo Gold, would you eat steak sliders?
Sure.
Yeah, why not? As long
It's
as
a soft enough cooked steak.
Right, that's the other thing too. It's like, yeah, it's so it's a charcoal briquette or something.
A tender ass steak, something you can just sink your teeth into it.
Yep.
Jack Gunsey says, Scribe Light, why is the stimulus $1 trillion if it takes less than $400 billion to give every American $1,000? Well, the stimulus they're talking about, a portion of it. So what they're planning on doing, as far as I understand it, is they're going to not do the payroll tax relief thing and instead use that portion of the stimulus that they would have done otherwise to give the $1,000 out. The rest of the money, as I understand it, is meant to go towards certain industries that are most adversely affected by this, like airlines and hotels and restaurants and things. That is my high-level understanding of what the current plan is.
Ooh, you know what you could totally take your stimulus and invest it into is InBev stock.
What stock?
InBev stock. So that would be the company that owns Corona. They're $38 per share, and that is less than half of what they were in January. So when that rebound hits, you're in for some nice cash money flow.
Yeah, like I told my dad back in the first when Ford stock it was, because he used to work for Ford. When Ford stock went down to like $1 a share or whatever, I joked with him at the time, half joked. I wish I was the other half joking. He and I should go in for like $10,000 worth of stock together and just get that. And boy, oh boy, do I wish we'd done that. Holy cats, I wish we'd done that.
Mm-hmm.
6 months, 7 months later, it would have been, gangbusters.
I'm gonna capitalize on this crisis, boys.
That it like I said, this is one of those situations where the downturn is not economically based as it is situationally based, and the situation will change. So things are going to improve. In that sense, now is the time to buy. You might wait a little longer just because things will probably dip a little further in the next few weeks. But once you get that stimulus check, you might want to pull the trigger on it.
Would it be monthly?
So far as we know right now, it's going to be a one-time deal. They will not do a UBI.
For everybody.
Yeah, no. It's not going to be the Andrew Yang thing. It might in the long term influence people to try to go for that more seriously, but it's not going to be more than a one-time deal. Okay, I don't know what that is. We're at the 2-minute warning, guys. So if you have any other questions,
now's the time, y'all.
Jack Gunsey says, I wonder what Yang says about this. Well, he was talking today like, boy, my phone's been blowing up today and all types of stuff. So he and his supporters that I've seen are very, very happy that the idea is coming to some kind of fruition and that it might actually inspire the $1,000 a month UBI, which it won't. Because neither Trump nor Biden is going to go for that, whoever ends up becoming president. So, yeah. Now, will it be the only stimulus for the sake of this crisis? Don't know. Who knows what they will do in the meantime to try to sort of soothe people's fears in whatever way they can. But at least for the time being, whatever's going to happen is going to be a one-time deal.
Huh.
Yang has corona, says TA. Does he? That's positive. That's too bad.
It'd be horrible.
Anyway, guys, by the time I finish, this will be at the top of the hour and thus the end of the show. So everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight and joining us as you always do on this special night where Satsu took a night off and the lovely Weibo joined us.
Such a rare occurrence.
Isn't it, though?
I'm glad you enjoyed my company, gentlemen.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, do we? So again, everybody, thank you for joining us. Remember, tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel at the regular time. If you don't know who Weibo Jones is, look her up. Check out her stuff. Check out her channel. I'll try to add her info to the description after the show, so you have some reference for that. Anything else to mention and or plug before we go, guys?
Nope.
You don't have anything to mention or plug, Monkey?
I mean, I'm going to do my game stream.
Right, and that's Ranting
Over on
Monkey.
Ranting Monkey Games. Yep.
Weibo?
I think I might start gaming online.
You should join Monkey in fighting zombies.
I have 7 days to die.
Well,
I would invite you, but you can't because I have to use my crappy internet or my satellite internet, and there's the 3-second delay, so I can't actually stream with people.
right.
Okay.
All right. Well, anywho, everyone, thank you for coming. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though we have the best behaved chat in the world. Everyone who donated, thank you for your generosity, especially in this crazy, crazy time that we're in. It'll all go towards horrible things I'll put in my body, like goldfish and Dr. Pepper, and buying extra toilet paper for the apocalypse, I guess. Yeah. So, Monkey, Weibo, thank you for joining me as always.
Indeed.
Thank you for having me.
Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
And per tradition, I'm taking out my copy of Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. And this is where I would wait for Satsu to whisper, sadomasochism, but I'll do it myself. And today's secret word is skin. Well, that's not a little creepy, is it? Just skin, guys. That's all it is. Just skin.